How many of those cost damage?
I don't
Really all
know.
that's relevant here.
But this is what I will
I know at
do.
least one is fireball.
Which one's
Can
fireball?
survive a fireball.
7?
7
Oh
and
yeah,
8. And
7
there's
and 8.
1 7 in there.
Yeah, there is a 7 in there. All right.
If there's only one that causes damage, that's really all that's relevant at this point.
No, it's definitely relevant.
No, they're all relevant, especially the you relocate to a different location.
I'm for party split. Let's see. First one.
The second
Oh,
one
no.
transports him to the astral plane.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
let's see.
Jacob, you cannot be surprised.
No, I cannot.
And so, while certainly water walking atop a churning magical barrier of blades would have you already tiptoeing and cautious, you are. We'll see what might end up happening here, as you're on this. However, the one who cast this spell that's interacting with the fish is Celine, who's the locus of all of this.
Oh no.
And so what
Sure.
I'm going to do is we're going to resolve a lot of effects that are going to be happening. And
Uh-oh.
each of you, in your own ways, seeing a bevy of pyrotechnics go off, can react in some fashion that might end up mitigating whatever the cascade of effects are going to be. And this could... I'm going to manifest this in a save of your choice, regardless of whatever the spell effects that could cascade onto you being. You can try and duck out of the way behind a stalagmite. You can, if you want to take your chances in the water because you think the fish all bit it, because they might have, you could dive in the water, kind of a thing with maybe a dex. If you want to make a strength save versus, again, we have all kinds of fireworks going off here. So all of your instincts can react in some way. Like I'm open-minded to wisdom saves, intelligence saves, whatever. And so before I start resolving what has happened, as Celine is a conduit of magical energy, I will ask Bright, what are you doing to somehow mitigate whatever could happen to you? As your eyes just, in this moment, your eyes get super wide and bright, much like your token, and all of these sparkly effects as you're like, oh, that's transmutation, that's necromancy, that's evocation. Oh, what is happening in this bonus action time that we are?
So what I would like to do is make an intelligence save to identify the effects as they come out, and I'll try to use a counter spell to counter the most dangerous ones.
Okay, make an intelligence save, and we'll have a course of action play out.
Okay, so I'm going. So as I saw the things start to happen, you will note that I immediately realized what was going to happen. And that's because I saw this happening just before it started, and that's because I'm taking a portent, and I'm going to roll a 13 on the die, which
Okay.
is going to become a 21.
Ah, okay. Oh, sure. Oh, so you had a feeling this was going to happen. Oh, man, you've been hold out on everyone, Bright.
Well, I didn't know it was going to happen until just like the very second it did. It's one of those time happens and then it replays.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
I get the waterfall.
I didn't know it was going to happen until it did. But then I already knew, even though I didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I get you.
Yeah, it's easier to explain in Gnomish.
I'm sure there's some very weird tense for this. Past, future, I don't know, something. Anyway, all right, so you have a 21 intelligence save to try and counter something that is particularly devastating as your eyes are darting around what's happening here. Mordecai, what would you like to do when this is happening? Apparently some kind of trap has gone off.
Well, I don't exactly have... What do I do?
You can always just kind of duck out of the way if you think, you know, dodging behind something works. But if you have something, I mean, this is kind of narrative freedom because a really interesting effect is probably going to be happening. So, I mean, if you want to do an int save, even if you're feeling sly on that, you can make an int save in a similar fashion.
No.
You want to just, I don't know, power chord charisma save to avoid, you know, bang, to try and deflect some magic because there's enchantment in there.
Charisma save is definitely my highest saving throw, so I would want to try and use that. But dexterity save is not bad either, so I could go either way, really.
Well, you tell me then which way you're swinging.
Charisma save then.
Okay.
I'm gonna spend my inspiration to give myself advantage.
Okay.
Do I go ahead and roll it?
Yeah, roll it. 12.
Oh no!
All right.
No.
So we have a 21 int. We have a. I'm going to make a note of the 21 int for Bright. We have a 12 Cha for Mordecai.
Oh no!
Jacob, what kind of a save would you like to make? Like suddenly, like your danger senses have gone off. What would you like to do here?
Jacob's gonna do what his military training tells him to do, and he's going to hide behind his shield.
Okay.
And when he does so, while his eyes are hidden, a large rock about the size of 4 men suddenly lifts out of the ground. Those black hairs going out, putting the boulder between him and the save. He has no idea this is happening. He's just hiding behind the shield.
You have a hell of a bracing action, 28 strength save, as you are just get through this, and you're there. And it's in fighting games, it's the ultimate defense. You're just crossing your forearms in front of you because that can block adamantium claws and eye beams.
But not 360 motion.
Casimir, things are about to get spicy for you. What are you going to do here to try and counteract, brace against, dodge? How are you figuring this out?
Since I'm able to use a dexterity save,
Yes.
I can use Shield Master to not take any damage.
Oh,
It's a reaction.
okay.
Yeah, if you pass the save, sure.
So,
Sure.
Shielding.
So roll a dex save.
I don't think I take the save. It's just you use your reaction
You
to take no
still-
damage.
No, you still make the save. It's your reaction if you pass to negate damage.
23. All right. 23 dex for Casimir.
This worded weird.
And what is Celine going to do to try and contain or control this power, save against effects, or how do you see her trying to work with what's going to be coming to her?
Lethality better appreciate this.
Okay.
She ends up holding up her sign of Ouija's, knowing that she will not be touched because of her faith, because of Ouija's. I'm gonna use my birthday crit on Celine's behalf.
Oh. That is true. Derek did have a birthday rather recently. I will grant that to you. It is not only selfless, but you are also playing this character. And so, what is going to be the total then?
That will be a 28 crit.
28, and that was a wisdom save, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll see what ends up happening here then. 28 wisdom for Celine. Okay. What I will do is, depending on the effects, this is almost going to be it's not going to be a skill check per se, but what I will say is that your scores represent almost a pool of hit points against which effects that might affect you can be negated. And we have 40 effects to go through. And if the highest possible was less than a 30 here, what I will say is every effect would be... Let's take 4 points away from your pool, okay? This is completely DM pulling this out of my own arbitrary.
Pulling it out of your fish hole.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's... It is. And as all of you were rather close together, I mean, we'll see if it's a radius. A lot of this might just end up being soaked by Celine, but we'll find out. So if you want to cancel an effect that could affect you, you can eat 4 points of whatever you rolled. If you don't have enough, then it'll be what it is. But I think four is going to work in this case. So for all of you, all right, all of you at home, if you're wondering what's going on, if you just came in, we had a mass chain reaction of wild magic effects that have just occurred, and I'm having to, on the fly, come up with a way to adjudicate this. Even though this is on the fly, does this sound rather fair for the interesting circumstances to you all?
It's pretty fair. Actually, we're gonna be fine. I already looked up what the effects are. We're gonna be fine.
All right, so...
Celine, maybe not so much. Funny things are gonna happen to her.
So
but the rest of us will
Celine.
be fine.
And so, Derek, I will... You can choose which of these effects that you want to have her negate from her 28. So she'll get, so 7, 8. She won't get 9. So, okay. It'll be a healthy amount. So first things first, as the fish begin popping and you're getting blown with all kinds of, like all this magical effects are blowing over you here. The first thing to take place, you glow with bright light in a 30-foot radius for the next minute. And any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of you is blinded until the end of its next turn. So this would be...
Celine radiates with holiness.
Okay, you're accepting this one. Can one of you keep a document open to find out what has happened to Celine, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I've got that.
Oh, okay. All right. And as this is more of a momentary effect here, I'm not worried about it spilling out because it's just going to dissipate. Next up, the second fish, we have... Oh, you are transported to the astral plane until the end of your next turn, after which time you return to the space you previously occupied or the nearest unoccupied space, if that space is occupied.
Taking it.
Okay. All right, so 4 save points down. Next up is a 15. You regain 5 hit points at the start of each of your turns.
Taking it.
6. Up to 3 creatures you choose within 30 feet of you take 4d10 lightning damage. So you can cancel that out, though this one actually can spill to other people. It's not your damage, so... No, if you want to spend 4 to cancel the whole thing, that's fine. Or you can let other people save against it, or just take the damage. Do you want to insulate this?
I'll insulate. I'll take the damage.
Okay. Next up is another 15. That's another, you regain 5 hit points at the start of your turns.
So now I'm regaining 10.
And we're at 44. For the next minute, you can teleport up to 20 feet as a bonus action on each of your turns.
Wow, wish I had that earlier.
Next up, your hair falls out but grows back within 24 hours.
What a tragedy.
Celine is bald again.
Again, that is the key word. Selena's bald again. Now we're on to illusory butterflies and flower petals flutter in the air within 10 feet of you.
I think that's the one we're going to need to cancel. I'm only partially joking.
Creatures have next one is creatures have disadvantage on saving throws against the next spell you cast.
I'll take it.
All right, next effect that she's getting stacked on her. That is a 79. That is another illusory butterflies. All the butterflies are now. They're,
I like the
or death's head
butterflies.
moth. The death,
They keep
death's
landing
head
in my
moth.
eye socket.
But they're
Next
so cute.
is a 73. A random creature within 60 feet of you becomes poisoned for 1d4 hours. There are no fish left, so this would end up being one of the other party members.
Oh, that's a D4, I guess.
She can insulate it if she wants.
I'll insulate it.
Okay. 34. Maximize the damage of the next damaging spell you cast for the next minute.
Does the previous damage I'm about to take count as the cast of
No, this would be whatever is coming. This wouldn't be for the next random. This would be a willful act on Celine's part.
I was about to say, like, maximize that. No!
We're now up to 15 hit points regen, if you
Yeah.
want to accept it.
I will.
Next up, after losing all her hair, you grow a long beard made of feathers that remains until you sneeze. At which point the feathers explode out of your face. So, Morticluck version 2.
Yes.
And
Cluck.
Oh, Morticluck.
she instantaneously regains 2d10 hit points.
We'll take that after the damage.
Then she grows another beard of feathers. So it is, I guess, like a super duper long beard. Like Rip Van Winkle style.
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your beard.
Maybe she has, yeah. And then 48. Next up, Celine. A unicorn controlled by the DM appears in a space within 5 feet of you.
Jade. Jade.
That would be very interesting, and I do like I do like interesting. So a unicorn's going to appear. Do you want to allow this, or do you want to?
I will allow it.
Okay, so there's now a unicorn on the map somewhere. Someone please remember that. Then we're on to 35 as we continue to explode. Roll a d10. Your age changes by a number of years equal to the roll.
Oh, no.
So go ahead and roll a d10, Derek.
I am taking this one.
2.
Oh, dang it.
All right.
Really
If it's
hoping
even,
for
you
that.
get older. So she grows 2 years older. So she gets a little
Oh,
like.
my.
So the beard gets a little longer.
Sure. I saw what happened to the one dude in not Raiders in
She
Last
starts getting
Crusade.
premature grays.
I don't think she's that old.
Hey, I have grays. I'm only 24, so.
I got a racing stripe going right here. All right,
I
so
dyed
she
it.
grows older by 2 years. And that was. Now we're into 16. For the next minute, you regain 5 hit points, so she's now up to 20.
25.
25. Next up, you cast Fireball as a 3rd level spell centered on yourself.
Okay, that's the one that I'm gonna counter.
Okay.
Okay.
Counter it with a counter spell.
Yeah.
Okay. You're you know that spell pretty well. This is instinctive for you, Bright.
I can definitely recognize that one.
Next up, a fog cloud rolls out from underneath Celine's robes. Do you want to allow for the fog cloud?
Sure, it's ominous.
Okay. Fog just pours out. Next up, Celine. If you die within the next minute, you immediately come back to life as if by the reincarnate spell. I think she's, especially trying to flash to the astral plane, she's probably getting a visit from her goddess. Next is you cast Confusion centered on yourself. And I believe, is that a radius? So is that going to affect other people?
Let's look up confusion.
Celine casts confusion. The world is flat. Let's see. Each creature within a 10-foot sphere, center point on. Yeah,
Yep,
it is a
center.
radius.
It's a radius.
Yeah, I will. That's the one I'll negate.
Okay. Next up is for the next minute. Oh, another regain hit points. And Solfang, thank you very much for the host. Then after that, we have a 20. You cast grease centered on yourself.
I'll take it.
Okay.
Well, it's not like I have an option anymore. It's everything else just goes through.
Oh,
Cancel
okay. So
confusion.
everything's going through. So, okay. So if grease is going, then that is another 10 foot.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will.
When the spell pops, I think you have to make a dex save, right?
Yeah. So let's. For the rest of you, I mean, if you want to fall prone, you can. As suddenly, like, a fog pours out of Celine, and then just grease just pours out of her feet, and is slick. If you all want to keep your footing, you can eat 4 points into your save, or you can, because I'm rolling all the saves into one, you can spend 4 points of whatever save you made to stand upright while she's having sort of a magical explosion.
Celine is going to eat 4 points
Okay.
for 28.
Are any of the rest of you are you fine slipping on Celine's grease? Or
I'll just hit the deck. It's
Okay.
fine.
Mordecai,
I'm just
Casimir?
I'm just gonna let it happen. It's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mordecai, what? And Casimir?
Yeah.
Okay. And Jacob, I guess this grease is floating on the water. Do you want to stay upright or do you want to fall?
We'll fall rather than eat up.
Okay. Next up, 1d6 flumps controlled by the DM appear in unoccupied spaces within 60 feet of you and are frightened by you. So I'm going to
I'm losing
reflavor
my hair.
I'm going to reflavor the flump. Hopefully Jeremy's not watching. I'm going to reflavor the flump and what would be really thematic for this case here? Who would be afraid of Celine? Oh, we're gonna tap into the terror. Roll me a d6, please, Derek. Oh, is it?
I see a D6. I see the one.
That was
Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on. I'm sorry. I had to scroll up and it didn't automatically zoom down. One. Okay. Mordecai, you appear next to Celine. However, you are dressed in regalia befitting like a king. And so this would be dream like husbando Mordecai. And so you manifest next to Celine, look at her as she's exploding with magical energy, and just look at her, and you flee from her in terror.
Yeah. All right, I'm running, but I have to make a dex save because of grease.
Oh, do you? Well, no, I mean you're not running. You're
Your astral double,
Yeah.
the perfect husbando.
your dream
Oh.
you that ended up getting murked is running.
Oh,
You
okay.
have no idea who the hell this is.
You see
outside
yourself
of-
running.
Yeah. You see a nobly dressed version of yourself running away in terror, screaming from Celine.
That's weird.
And that was... Oh, which one was that again? Sorry.
I'd like it if the nobly dressed version of Mordecai was slipping on the
That was a
grease while it's
37.
trying to run away. Kind of like in Scooby-Doo. You know, it'd be...
Yep. It's probably what's happening.
Sure.
Shut your fish hole.
Mordecai, go ahead and just make a dex save as if you were making it, because you are. Next up is another maximize damage.
It's a 24.
Okay, so he kind of this is like Mordecai on greased ice, and you do like a graceful spin and a pirouette, but he keeps his feet in his terror. 6 is another mechanical thing. Another mechanical thing starts spitting out sparks. In so doing, there's a chance that this is going to ignite the grease, and everyone's floundering around in it. What would you like to do here as the spark, like the thing opens its mouth and there's just like some fire just forming out before the first one reaches? Is this being canceled?
I will spend to cancel that.
Okay. Next up is a 79. More illusory butterflies. So you have 3 swarms of butterflies and 2 beards growing out of you. Followed up. For the next minute, you can see any invisible creature you have line of sight to.
All right.
It's going to be convenient. Spoilers.
Next is another grease. So once more, Celine just loses control and just grease everywhere flies out.
My water's broken.
How apropos. So this is something else that you all can absorb again if you choose, or you could just stay prone in the grease and have another slathering of Celine slime.
Yeah.
Sure. We'll just go prone. It's fine.
Okay.
Sure. Get your mind out of the gutter.
I'm still lying on the ground from before.
So she's in the gutter. Next up, each creature within 30 feet of you becomes invisible for the next minute. Do any of you want to save against becoming invisible?
Nope.
Well, I think it's fun.
You just all
I
vanish.
always wanted to
Go.
be invisible.
Just vanish.
Okay.
So
She can still see us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can see invisible too, so...
Oh, we have another, roll another d6, please. And we'll see what happens. As another set of flumps, quote unquote. Ooh.
Oh, God.
All right. Noble Mordecai from the dream has manifested and run off in terror. All of you see now, like, almost like a spirit peeling itself away from Celine. You see 2 little kids. You see a little kid Noralai and a little kid version of her brother, for those of you who've seen him. And they look at Celine and just... Ah! And they start running in terror, and they're little kids. They're going to lose their footing and just sort of like slurp around in the grease. Next up is...
Loki. No, lie. No.
is Dream, we have Dream Selter and Dream Jacob, dressed as like royal guards, peel away from Celine, and also flee in terror, probably after the kids who are like scooting and skating around. So you're welcome to get some shouts in edgewise if you'd like.
Oh, dear God.
Mordecai, you see Selter again just manifest. She's looking very, exactly as she'd want, like gold accents and nice stuff, but she actually looks scared.
That's weird.
Who is that? And why am I better dressed?
Then a noble animal husbandry ranger, Casimir, crawls out from underneath Celine's skirt and takes one look at back at Celine, and then starts scampering away.
It don't look good in a road trip.
That's weird.
And lastly, pouring out of Celine is a head of a silver dragon. Its neck continues to like ooze out of her, and as it continues to just almost be birthed from Celine. Riding on this silver dragon, which flees away down one of the caves, is a vicious looking, like a red cap version of Bright. Just she's holding an egg and just has this look that probably you all suspect she's capable of doing, but she never lets it show.
Not.
That is really weird.
So all these alternate yous pour out of Celine and flee from her in sheer terror. Next up is another maximize damage. Followed by that, you are surrounded by faint ethereal music for the next minute.
Picturing stars and stripes forever here. I mean, nothing else really works.
Unfortunately, the pyrotechnicians push the yes button to the order in which they go off.
I'm seriously hoping that music never stops, lest Azathoth wakes up.
The sound of a gallant ball. It's very mesomasculine in flavor. Very like harpsichordy, hotty toddy to what we would sound or what we might consider to be like highfalutin music, like a grand ball and a host where there's a lot of people that are talking, and that's slowly going to turn to roars and screams as I continue the narration. Next up, we have 2 grease piles, and now we have another spark-spitting creature, another gnome invention. You're canceling that out? Okay. And next up is you cast polymorph on yourself. If you fail the saving throw, you turn into a sheep for the spell's duration. Do you have any points left?
Oh yeah, I have more than enough. I still have 16.
Okay.
I've been laying most of this through.
Do you want to be a sheep?
I would strongly recommend being a sheep. It's actually pretty nice.
Meh.
Meh.
I'll take that as she's a sheep. Very well. Next up is another maximize damage. And then another... Oh, okay, so never mind. We have the faint ballroom, and now a discordant sounds of large creatures roaring and flapping, and the sounds of people being torn in half and crunchy stuff. I don't have the mature tag on, so I'm going to leave it to your imaginations because y'all were here for Halloween. But that starts playing now as this music and fog and people pouring out of magically exploding Celine are filling this cavern.
She's essentially reliving her dream.
No.
Poor woman.
No,
Oh no. She's gonna need consoling.
No.
Next up is a 90... That was a 98? Yeah, we were on that was a 98 that I read. That was a surrounded. Now we're back on a 5. Although I thought I already rolled for that second one. Is that that's a 5?
I think you lost your place.
Oh, I might have lost my place. Okay, and we did a 77, and that one was the polymorph. Okay, so 95. Oh, you know what? No, the 98 was before that. Okay, so 95 is you and all creatures within 30 feet of you gain vulnerability to piercing damage for the next minute. Do you want to absorb this one, or?
I will absorb this one.
Okay. Next up is a 70, and the 70 is each creature within 30 feet of you becomes invisible. So you're all super invisible.
Sure.
You're gonna let that one ride? Okay.
Oh, do also the still living fish become invisible?
I think there are any
that's
still living
presuming
fish.
there's any.
Yeah, he said that when we got poisoned, he said that all the fish had died.
Do any of the rest of you want to avoid being invisible again?
Oh, I like it. It's fun.
Okay. And then lastly is the last thing you do is you kind of poop your pants once more with a big old grease splat. And so a third wave of just effluence courses across the top of the water and the stone floor.
I'm gonna let it through. And I
Okay.
am picturing very much that Celine right now is in the fetal position, bawling her one eye out as she is hurtled up into herself as she's been basically reliving a nightmare this entire time.
This was the longest, less than 6 seconds. How many save points do you have left?
I currently have 16. I haven't, or no, I have 4. I have 12
Okay.
left.
Due to the stress of trying to contain this magic, I will say that the amount of save points you have left becomes your hit point total now. As channeling this much magic has absolutely like drained her and wrecked her, as she's just she's already a sheep and she's prone in a pile of her own grease, and all of
Actually,
you.
she's not there.
She's in the astral plane.
Yeah, she got
Oh shoot! Okay, all right. So all this was happening. Well, I guess we'll have her flicker back for a second for each of these other effects to manifest. So she's in a weird strobe effect, turns into a sheep. All this stuff is happening, and this is, oh my gosh, poor girl. Yeah, so she's not doing so hot as she's blinking in and out of reality. Just magical energy courses off of her, and the cavern is filled with strobing lights and fog and grease and the sounds of people dying, and these manifestations that are just fleeing and shouting. There's these like doubles of you all that are just kind of running around and slipping in the grease. With the exception of the dragon kind of flew off down one of the caverns. Yeah, so you all get to live in this hell for the next minute also, for the most part. Some of these effects might last a little longer in a minute, but what are you doing in the immediate aftermath? Celine is like strobing in reality, like jittering, like kind of creepy, scary movie effect. And she's a sheep, and she's I don't know. You all tell me now. There's a lot of stuff happening.
Is she a sheep for a minute? You said.
Well, honestly, none of you would know in character it's for a minute, but she is turned into a sheep, and she's strobing in and out of reality as magical liquids are pouring out of her, and people and doubles of you all, and all this stuff.
Mordecai's kind of freaking out a little bit, just wishing that he had some way to just cancel all of that.
Mordecai's freaking out, huh?
He's not entirely sure what he should be doing right now because he is in a little bit of shock at what just happened.
Well, we got some damage to roll.
much. I don't think we did any damage.
No,
I
we actually
counter
canceled
spelled
it.
the fireball, and the other one was a voluntary one, so
Yeah.
we didn't have to do it.
So first 6 seconds, I regained 30 hit points. Was that?
Yeah, you have a lot of healing. That is,
12 seconds, she's back up to snuff.
and so, you all are watching as she's strobing in and out of this dimly lit corridor as well, and as she's healing and coming back, like you have this sheep with, you know, kind of seared woolly chunks and whatnot. The patches that grow back are like Celine, though, except for the face where it's like a sheep skull and whatnot. As she's healing, but she's healing back into her body, from this nearly dead state, and so you're just seeing this writhing, greasy. Should I just put the mature tag on it? Is this Halloween part 2? Because I mean, this is really the state she's in. This is more for a
she's
Derek
messed
game.
up.
I mean, this is all, but I don't know if any of you seen like Alien 4 or whatever. There's a part when the protagonist goes into a certain part of laboratory, and there's just a scene that the character goes, "Kill me." That's kind of what is happening here in this grotesque horror show of Celine's. And so she's strobing in and out. This is continuing. You can interact, flee. Oh, actually, hang on. But before this, I wanted to roll. If I what I'm going to do for all of you except Bright, because you're double ended up flying down a corridor here. I am going to roll. I'm going to roll a d10, and on a 6, no, on a 7 or greater, your double is going to slide like right into you. So Mordecai, 1d10, and let's see if you have a direct encounter with your double. You do. Mordecai, the fog is there. You're hearing Celine bleeding as she's regenerating and strobing. And there's a figure that kind of like comes sliding. And through the fog, you kind of bump face to face with yourself.
What?
What? You're me.
Who are you? What?
I'm Mordecai. I'm Celine's husband. Have you seen our kids?
What?
What? I'm looking for Norlai and Mordecai. Celine, something happened to her. And he's looking rather panicked.
Just calm down. Just calm down. We'll figure this out. It's fine. I don't know what to do. I'm trying to persuade him to calm down.
He's trying to not. So yeah, we'll let me get to the others to see if we're seeding other encounters. But you're looking into yourself. I mean, you're both kind of greased up and everything, but that's just for the fan fiction. Now over to Jacob. Let's see if you.
I'll just take it. I'll just take it.
Oh, okay. Well, you are anyway. So there. So Jacob, there's a shout. Master Mordecai, Norlai, these searching, and you kind of hear a whoa, and you retain, and you bump into yourself in the fog.
Settle down, soldier. You're out of uniform.
I'm in my uniform. This is what I should be wearing. I'm the guard to Her Highness and her husband. Where are the kids?
Kids. We've seen some children that were in the... He straightens up, realizing that he is higher rank than he.
Salter!
The children who are reported to end up here, heading off in the southeastern direction, if I believe the speckles off the ceiling. They will end up, they've currently have a 122 foot lead upon you, heading towards that way in a sliding position. Beware the grease and understand that they are currently having a hard time end up stabilizing. They will be found due shortly. However, they are in violation of yada 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 yada.
Good, you're with me. Come on, soldier.
Sir!
Okay.
All right.
Casimir. There is your voice. Celine? Celine? Where are you? In kind of hide and go seek sort of tone. And you hear this, and from behind, oh, Celine, my elven beauty, and two hands kind of like embrace you from behind with, they travel a little bit, we'll say, and no one will see us in the fog, Celine. Your ears are extra perky in the fog. And you spin around, and there's you. Except you're dressed in regal huntsman attire. You have a couple badges of station. You have a very nice pith helmet.
You look much better in armor like this. Not armor like.
I am Her Majesty's royal gamekeeper. You almost could pass, though I believe that when it comes to the husbandry, I would make a better one.
I see.
Still your eye. And he kind of swoops. As I share the same. And he's getting like a really close moment as Casimir is like holding Casimir and is being lost in Casimir's eye. Perhaps wherever she is, that fearsome beast, we can make use of the fog.
I see.
Are you giving in to yourself, or are you rejecting yourself?
Out of character, I'm very tempted to, because this would make a great
Do it.
picture.
Do it. Do it.
Draw it anyway, regardless of what Casimir would do.
That's a valid option as well.
I ship it, Casimir x Casimir.
The only madman though for Casimir is Casimir himself.
Jacob and Jacob go running off. Casimir and Casimir are off somewhere. Mordecai, there's noble Mordecai and by the way, this is like back to life Mordecai. This is your natural, no fangs, your normal color blue, your eyes or whatever else. There's no. You are back to life Casimir here, as well as being noble. And apparently married to Celine?
What? I am so confused.
As am I. I just want my wife and children back. There was... we were to be coronated. We were the rulers of Mesotopia. Children, Norlai, Lokiadius.
I think Jacob went to go find them. I'm...
Okay. Continue.
I can go help find them, I guess. If you need help finding them, yeah.
Yes, I don't know who you are. You share an uncanny resemblance to me. More talk on
I'm
that
Mordecai.
later.
My name's Mordecai.
I'm Mordecai.
Silverleaf?
Yes.
How? What? Where are you from?
I'm from here, Mesomasca. You don't know who I am. I saved us from the Shadowheart Empire.
That's not true. The Shadowheart is still a threat.
No, you're mistaken. No, my wife, Celine, she fixed it. She made everything better. That's why I'm looking for him. So there was dragons everywhere, and Celine. We're for our effects, we're getting towards the end of the minute. However, while this is happening, Bright, as you are kind of slopping around in the fog here, there is a sound of footfalls, and it's not dragon wing flaps. Instead, there's a shape in the dimly lit fog. Well. If it isn't a little traitor. And leaning forward through the fog is the face of a black dragonborn dressed in regalia, wearing armor and has arms of a noble. And Bright, Selter. You've met Selter. Selter has strode out of the fog and is wearing beautiful like house armor and weapon. And she's reaching forward to help you up out of the grease.
That's so.
Yeah. She has a big smile on her face.
Yeah, I think I can get up on my own. Thanks, all the same. do you say, little traitor? That's... I've done bad things, but I never did that.
I'm sorry. Did I say traitor? I meant. Uh. Do you have her sheet available at all?
Yes, I do.
Can you make a grapple check?
Oh,
As
yes, I can.
as she says, I'm sorry. Did I say traitor? I meant chicken nugget. And she lunges forward and grapples you up. As this Celine apparently can interact with you and
Insult her. Yeah, I can't really match a 29.
okay. You and I have a lot to talk about. Chicken nugget.
I don't understand.
About all the things you did to Master
so-
Mordecai and Mistress Celine.
So, I've only met you for like a day, and I'm pretty sure I didn't do anything bad on that day. So, I think you probably have the wrong gnome. So I know you like to pick me up,
No, I have the
but I'd
right
appreciate
little
if you wouldn't do it
gnome.
quite so much.
And I would like you to make a dexterity save, please.
Okay, 18.
All right. You are well. You're being grappled right now, so this is a 7. And her mouth opens, and just a viscous form of bad energy just starts forming in her mouth as she leans in to give you the noble's kiss. And Bright, as she calls you chicken nugget, and there's just a nice other. That must be Celine's grease because it's kind of dripping off of everything here. No, 14 points of necrotic damage to the face as she's holding you, opens her mouth, and right on your face, a necrotic dragon's breath.
That
Do we see that?
Nope. This is all in foggy obscurity. And yes, there's horrible music playing, the sounds of people screaming, ballroom dancing, a sheep that's bleeding in and out of reality.
that's the best part.
And Bright is in her own little dance with Selter the Black Dragonborn, as she's just been given the noble's kiss. Bright, what would you like to do as you've taken necrotic breath to the face?
So you've always been, honestly, you've always been a real bitch, Selter. All you do is push people around, and you pick me up like I don't even count. And now you're doing this, and I really don't deserve it. And I really think you could stand to be a lot better person. And that's coming from someone like me, who has a lot to make up for.
Words or actions with that?
No, I don't think so. But I am going to... No, I don't think so. I think I'm just going to let her make the next move. See what she has to say for herself.
Sure. I think you're gonna make a wonderful meal, you little traitor.
Hey,
Calling
please
me?
stop calling me that.
You call me a... I'll say it. It's past 2 a.m. You call me a bitch?
G13,
honey.
that word is okay.
You don't know a bitch. And she's going to... I don't know. What would Selter do to Savage? A little trollop like Bright, who threatened her, the master and mistress under whom she works. Being a draconic traitor here.
I'm fixated on asphyxiation, and because of me, you can't breathe.
Oh, you wanna choke? You wanna choke Bright?
Seltzer takes her time.
Sure.
I'm
Okay. So
sorry. I'm
what we'll
sorry.
do is
God.
Bright, you you cannot breathe. As your throat, you're in a grapple. You can still try to escape it as per the rules. However, you
Maddie,
cannot. Oh,
Maddie,
yes,
have you seen Overlord
I have
and the
not. I've
Clementine
been
incident?
told I should, but I have not seen it.
Think less around the neck and think more along the waistline and tube of toothpaste.
Oh, okay, like okay, so yeah, you want her innards to become outards through her mouth. Gotcha. Um,
Do we
That's
hear
where
any of this?
um,
Fog doesn't just muffle
you'll
sound.
hear the pop.
you might hear the pop, but unfortunately, the breath is being squeezed from Bright. So, Bright, because it's not your throat, if you still want to say something or cast a spell with a verbal, I'll give you one before you're out of air, because you are being crushed by this monster that's come out of the fog.
Okay, what I'm gonna say is, you can't squeeze a gnome. It just doesn't work. And that's a misty step.
Okay.
So I disappear from the grab and reappear about 5 feet away.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
the
afraid.
fog is making the visibility a little tough, but you're not being grabbed anymore.
Yeah.
And so you misty step out, and at um, the the fog and the music and things are beginning to dissipate as the minute has passed, and so it's kind of rolling out in the order in which it happens. um, so Casimir is caught Casimiring wherever Casimir is, after the fog dissipates, and y'all can see invisibility, and apparently so can Casimir clone. Jacob and Jacob are nowhere to be seen after the fog dissipates, and Mordecai, your Mordecai self, just kind of fades into like the fog, but it's more like liquid and just sort of like melts. And Bright, for you, being chased around a little bit like the little chicken nugget you are by Selter, playing tag in the fog, suddenly the shadow just turns into shadow and dissipates with the fog.
But the damage is still real.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that was interesting.
Is everyone
Do any
all
of
right?
you? I don't understand. I don't know why Selter would have anything against me like that. I only knew her for a couple of days, and she wasn't all that nice, but we never had any real conflict.
The
I don't
one that
understand.
I don't understand either. Jacob!
Mordecai, make a persuasion check that can reflect some of the quick conversation you had with yourself. Um, all you would have gotten was, I'm here with the guards, Jacob and Selter. So Selter sounded like a royal guard, but he didn't get to that point yet in our meta knowledge.
Jacob, where did you go?
Sir? Sir, where are you? I've not been able to locate the children.
So Jacob, you are as the other Jacob dissipates, and you've been now you're like slogging through like chest high water as you've gone down the cave. The other you vanishes, and there's just flowing water over you, and there is another chamber ahead.
Well then. This was unexpected. Weirded me out just a little bit.
Celine also did cast Water Walk, so.
I think
Oh.
that concentration would have been broken.
Yeah,
by
that's probably
Water
not.
walk's not concentration.
Oh, is
now.
not.
Ooh, yeah, that's right. It's
Oh.
the blade walk that is, or the blade wall that is.
Okay.
I'll roll with it. I will roll with it. I'm not even gonna argue it. If he's on the other side,
roll an investigation, Jacob, to also simulate kind of the persuasion, like as you were. Oh, 26. Nice green number. So you would have been given a just as you gave a methodical rundown of the current situation to yourself as your superior. Your superior would have informed you that about the standing, in quick succession, about the royal house, about the kids that you're trying to find, being a product of Mordecai and Celine, and that that Selter, your comrade in arms is the royal guard here, so and so you're getting that, and then there's with that there certainly would have been a mention that there was a little pink one that ended up turning traitor and betraying the royal family after all that they've done for not just the people of Masca but Mesotopia in this rundown, and her crimes were numerous and listed.
but not my jurisdiction, thankfully. I have enough on her as it is.
Okay, it's good to know that you don't have jurisdiction in dreams.
No, but apparently I do.
Jacob Kruger, watch out, everyone.
So Jacob ends up informing this, and in you know how Bright has that really fast talk moment?
Yeah.
You're pretty sure that Jacob's keeping up as he's just going through the story in under a minute, in as much excruciating detail as possible. You're saying fire to paper as trying to keep this down and writing notes. And so that's when you decided killing the next offspring by specifically removing the egg outside of Saloon's womb, leaving her to bleed out to be consumed by the Dragonborn. So that's why you're a traitor. And did I miss anything?
Nah, it's pretty critical detail. You're good.
What?
Do we know why? Why would I do that?
Well, apparently it had something to do with the air. You're going to raise it as your own and end up being able to end up conquering the whole of the Mesomasca. It was an ingenious plan. Were it not thwarted by a few children and a dog, apparently.
Jacob, you're also convinced by... You're probably also convinced that Casimir is strongly suspected of animal husbandry, although more of the husbandry part of things. However, Celine has never... Celine showed disdain and distaste for Bright. However, Casimir, as suspicious as he might have been, had always been invited, so that could just be a moral conundrum you might have as a person. However, it's strongly suspected that Casimir has been... Frolicking, yes.
Yes. Well, that ends up maintaining this thus far as the facts that apparently in their world, not only is Celine and Mordecai here up a pair, but apparently at some point Bright and Casimir end up finding enough affection to be able to go into conclusion before the summary execution. So congratulations, none of you died alone.
Huh. I have to say, none of this really sounds like something I would do. I don't understand.
You've been acting really weird lately, Bright.
Okay, point taken. But this is just a hallucination. It isn't real. It isn't something. But I mean, mine had information in it. So there must be something to it, and I want to find out what. I mean, I
says something to it. Why does the others not?
It didn't come through clearly.
If your dream had clues in it, why do the others not?
Well, I don't think. I think they probably do. I think they probably do have clues, but they're not real. I mean, you guys didn't all just suddenly become idiots and get yourselves killed, and so that's not real, and and so whatever happened in Celine, that's not real either. But there's probably a clue, and I want to know what the clue is. Mine was pretty straightforward. This one isn't. This one is confusing.
Perhaps it
Mine
has something-
basically had me in an alternate future. What would have
Mine
happened?
was just in desert showing you guys how to hunt sand dogs. And I don't think, well, for one, Bright, I don't think you want to do that, and I probably won't go back to there for a while.
I mean, I wouldn't want to, but sometimes, so you know that my people don't like to hunt and don't like to eat meat,
Right.
and sometimes if we do something bad, we get sent off to stay with people who do that just to remind us why that we've done something bad. So, I mean, there's some truth to that.
I don't know. That Mordecai looked older.
Well, I would imagine then the dream is placing itself in the future.
It would have to be because they were old enough to have children.
3 kids. I mean, I'm old enough to have 3 kids at this point, but I am not married.
Understand? Born out of wedlock.
Neither was
No, I
Casimir.
They had time to grow up. They were like 9 or 10. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. It's hard for me to tell with human ages, but they were old enough. Had to be in the future, but not a good future. And why would I don't understand. Still don't even know what I did. What did I do that was so horrible?
Well, it has to do with the fact that you were carving out her womb to end up getting access to the egg while she was still alive.
How could
So I met.
how could there even be an egg? That doesn't even make sense.
Maybe
That's-
that unto itself is the clue. You're the one who's really good at riddles.
Okay, again, point taken.
Stop answering my questions I'm asking. I don't like it.
I like this conversation less and less all the time.
Bright, do you have a shovel?
Actually, I think I probably left it behind somewhere once I learned to cast Mold Earth. But I had one
Okay.
once.
I think you still have it with you. You're just digging yourself in deeper.
All of that aside, they weren't real. They dissolved.
Honestly, Celine's probably still lingering after the minute because she's just the central focus for everything. So she's
Polymorph is 10 minutes also.
all right. So
it's gonna
she's
take
definitely
longer for
still a
her.
sheep, but she's probably still like occasionally like when she'll like a little grease will kind of like fly out of her mouth, or yeah.
What can we? What? All of us
Right.
probably need to sit down and actually talk about this in more detail. Now that
Well, thankfully, I ended up sleeping completely without trouble. It is as right as a log.
going through the portal,
Yes.
not sleeping, going through the portal.
Have you ever seen me close my eyes?
No.
There you
Sometimes you
go.
blink. But only, you don't even blink for as long as most people do.
I want to insight check Jacob.
Oh, you don't even need to. He is lying through his goddamn teeth. I'm not even gonna roll that one. I'm giving you that one for free.
You are fucking lying.
You have no proof of that. There's no evidence.
I can see it all over your face.
Intuition is not information.
It may not be fact, but
Exactly. So move on. He has
What
this
did you
1,000-yard stare.
we don't have to talk about it now. But you saw something like we did. You didn't say anything before. I wasn't going to press. But we can leave it at that for now.
The common factor in every single one that I've found is apparently there is a lot of individuals dying in very horrific ways, and I'd rather not make this a two-parter.
No. Let's not die.
Triple innuendo.
Let's not die. We all can agree on that one. But
Says
all
the
of it,
corpse.
I could still end. My existence could still end. I still call that dying.
I'm sure the book burning convention would end up saying the books died as well. Suffice it to say. Okay, you want to know what I end up saying? It's very quite simple. Try and imagine what would happen. Try and imagine what would happen if the top part of your body was grabbed one way, the bottom part of your body was grabbed the other, and somebody decided to end up making a two. Now understand that ended up happening systematically with every one of you, including some people that I'd rather not end up thinking about right now, and the idea of having to end up staring at their own intestinal tracts, slowly going down the other side of the glass, while being stuck in a point, trying to cut my own head off.
Yeah, no.
Does that summarize it well enough for you, Deputy Silverleaf?
Sure, I was.
There we go. Can we end up moving along? Come here, Celine. I think I got a carrot here somewhere. Come on.
Can we undo that for her?
Only Celine has dispel magic. Oh, it'll wear off eventually. Oh no.
This is permanent.
This is. Matty, you're muted.
The thought occurs. You don't have to express it if you don't wish, but I don't know if you have a brain to mouth filter. It's up to you.
Isn't really.
It will most likely wear off. It should wear off. You also could just, if you kill the sheep, the effect will drop. You just have to destroy the sheep form, and then the Celine underneath would come back into existence.
We're sure about that.
Well, I want to make sure that this is what Bright's saying first. This is what's coming to mind, though, is that, sometimes if people are turned into a bug, it could wear off, but if your bug form goes, then you might come back. So, I don't know, you could have Casimir, put down Celine, and that might pop her back. But this is your brain. I'll let you say whatever you'd like off of this.
Yeah. So, it should wear off eventually. I don't know. I mean, Celine has the dispel, and I don't know how to dispel. I mean, I know there's a spell for it, but I've never practiced it, and I don't think I can cast it. But
Maybe.
I could always learn it. If it sticks like this forever, when we get back to town, I could learn it, and I could cure her then. Otherwise, we just have to hope that it wears off. Usually it does, most of the time. Of course, I'm still blue. Speaking of, how did Celta recognize me since I'm blue?
How did she see you? Because you were invisible.
I think we should.
Okay, just wait it out. Yeah. Oh, do we want to still try and cross the water? We've done a lot.
If we're going to, we should probably do it before the fish come back.
Off, yeah.
And before the water walk wears off. Yeah. we definitely don't want. I mean, Celine can't cast it again as long as she's a sheep.
Right. Make the best of our time, I guess.
She presumably can trot across the water.
Also, sheeps look funny with a beard of feathers.
She
basically
wouldn't have had
just
any
looks like
wool
a-
either, because she would have been bald. So a bald sheep with a Rip Van Winkle beard.
I don't know. I mean, she turned into a she lost her hair before she turned into a sheep,
Oh,
so it
that's
could
true.
go either way there.
That's true.
No, yeah, so she's bald-headed with a large amount of wool, especially in the chin area. Seems to drag 10 feet behind her.
The butterflies haven't gone away either. They're still like.
When she
swarming
turns
over.
back, her hair is replaced with curly white wool.
I am gonna get so much flack from lethality.
This is what you get for supporting a charity lethality and gathering of nerds. Take that.
Gavin.
Wait, you know the ultimate irony? Hang on. The ultimate irony is the charity that they're supporting is a 12-hour shave for a cure stream. Shave for a cure. It writes itself, everyone. This isn't even a workshop night. But
Maybe if we share the sheep, Celine will come back to normal.
We can.
We could shave the sheep for a cure.
Damn it, Fluffy.
well, while you still have water walk, do you want to try and pick her up and trot her across the water?
I'll take her. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you probably don't have to pick her up. You probably just tie a rope
Lead
around
her.
her and lead her along.
Let's see if I have rope to make a lead.
You have a little micro net on a string. You can just kind of put that around.
Yeah, the only thing I have is.
Or
a
just
net,
lead
yeah.
by the beard. Use that as a leash.
I can-
Just
Yeah,
I
that'll
have
do.
rope.
I'll lead
Oh.
her.
Casimir has rope. That's fine.
Yeah, sorry. I was...
I'll create a lead out of the rope and lead Celine.
all right. Celine, as she's recovered in parts because of this regeneration effect, she just looks like an extremely weary, sad. I mean, we actually have like a partially skeletonized, mostly bald, butterfly-covered, long beard having,
I am gonna need to
kind of
console
overweight
her.
sheep, and
I mean, she's not fat. She's fluffy.
yeah, she's fluffy.
Fluffy!
But she looks like the most pitiable, just miserable creature that exists.
I just pet her.
I'm gonna need to get her a gift basket. And I think at this point she would have healed all the way up. It's been more than enough time.
Yeah, she's super healed. I mean, she probably overhealed, and it's causing some weird effects. Because if you overheal, I mean, there's not a mechanic for it, like, you know, death and losing hit points, but some interesting things might happen.
So yeah, we're walking, and I'm just leading her pitifully.
Okay.
To change this back.
Sure. You have to lead her as very carefully. Occasionally, she'll strobe out of reality, so her beard will just fall out of your hand. You got to go and pick it back up, as she can't even exist properly right now. And I don't know. We could probably call it here as you're going down. Do you still want to go down the Fomorian cave, or do you want to go down?
Yes.
That's
That's
Okay.
the
follow the
direction where we're
footprints.
going.
Okay. So the original question to start the evening: which cave do you want to go down? And we finally reached a decision.
We made a decision. We just never did it because of all the wild magic.
I know, it's fun. All right. I mean, I didn't.
No,
I had no idea that would have happened, but such is the fun and spontaneity of the session. But I think what we can do is that you've chosen a cave. We should let Lethality know what happened so that he can prepare, and we might just call our session here then.
Here's the funny part, right? What happened last session? We chose a cave. And? No, that was literally it.
Went fishing.
That's as
You went
far as
fishing.
we got.
You went
A little
fishing.
bit of fishing.
Yeah.
Nose biting.
I feel like we've made no progress today.
We didn't.
We went fishing.
We made no
I
progress.
painstakingly
I got all-
caught those fish.
I got all gussied up for nothing.
No, you played it well. I think
It
you
was
did a good
good.
job
It was
with
very
that.
good.
You didn't get gussied up for
don't,
nothing.
Don't get me wrong.
I
It
made
was very
3
good.
pieces of art.
You even got to melt Bright's face. Come on.
No, I didn't get to melt Bright's face, and I didn't want to melt. The whole time I'm going, I hope she has a way out of this. And I know how Selter is, and I know that Selter's overconfidence might give Bright some Hail Mary. Because if it was a choke the throat, like, no, you don't have air, you are not speaking. It is very hard to speak when somebody has your vocal cords in their grip, especially when they have the kind of grip that, bends iron.
Oh, I could probably escape the grapple. I had another portent. I probably would have been okay. But yeah, that was good.
I'm trying to imagine. But, no, here's the worst part, right? I don't know on how you were able to speak, because literally the whole reason for that attack is to basically boil somebody's vocal cords and esophagus to the point where they're basically dying of asphyxiation.
But
That's
it's also
how she was
necrotic
designed.
damage, not acid.
It's necrotic now.
It was necrotic. Now, because remember, the character shifted, but that Celine...
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I saw the
Maybe.
necrotic on there.
I guess we don't.
But in the dream, it was acidic.
Yeah,
That's right,
true.
you melted someone.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well.
That's okay. I'm not going to complain about the whole
Since it
thing.
was,
In fact,
I mean, we can just say that since it was a dream, the damage was actually necrotic, even if it looked like acid.
whatever you want. Hell, I kept my mouth
That's how
shut.
Phantasmal Killer works.
I kept my mouth shut when it was like
Eric,
roll
you're
savings throw. I'm muted.
Eric, you're muted. Or did I just lose sound?
You might have
think
lost
you
sound.
lost
I heard him talking.
Sound. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay,
Well, I guess it was too much for me, and my headset protected me.
fair enough. I was just gonna say,
Earmuffs.
I didn't even speak up when Maddie said to roll a savings throw while you were in the grapple. I'm like, the whole shtick is that they don't
Very
have
good.
disadvantage on a savings throw. I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna see if Maddie calls it. Oh, he did.
No.
Damn it.
Okay, you're there
But
now.
you played it true. I gotta give it to you, Maddie. You're almost a half decent Celter, but of course, how can you compete with?
I'm a terrible, terrible imitation, darling.
You do it so well, though.
I know, it was really weird. I'm like, oh god, I'm already hating her.
Like fake Mordecai. Fake Mordecai isn't hard to pull off because I'm not hard to pull off.
Apparently, though, I can end up pulling off lethality to the point where Bright or Fluffy has a hard time breathing.
That was pretty good. I like this. Everybody's playing each other's character, right? I mean, Derek's playing Celine, Maddie's playing Selter.
Yeah. See, we could work it in there.
This is the conversation we had to start. We went full circle.
Casimir got to play Casimir?
Hey, I ship it.
Hey. I posted the pictures in chat. I really
Good.
like the Casimir one.
Good.
Excellent.
Yes.
Where?
So
Oh, here
good.
they are.
During that moment of Selter and Bright, though, I certainly, I already made a reference to Alien 4. I had a very Alien 3 moment with Bright and Selter, where a protagonist and a certain villain of the franchise had a very close encounter regarding a black slimy mouth opening, and
Oh man.
Black Wolf also posted a meme in Discord. Oh my goodness, y'all blowing up the Discords.
Uh-oh. Do I dare ask? I don't think it better not be the one that was forwarded to me.
Black Wolf, I'm loving the one that you put up there, and I'm regarding your sketches here, Dark Wolf.
Delightful.
Which, by the way, while Dark Wolf does paint minis, Dark Wolf is another one of the community artists that you see up here, and you can also commission her for some art too. I reckon your offer for 2D art is still up for grabs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
The minis are just kind of easier to advertise and
Yeah.
kind of give them out. And also, no one else does it.
Yeah. Well,
That's what I know.
Yeah, well, it's convenient because I could just hand them to you, you paint them, and you hand them back to me, and then I just mail them off. No extra shipping or
No extra
handling.
postage or anything. Yep.
Yeah. Well, you know, I checked out Gathering of Nerds. I don't know if they if their stream went down. It is Australian internet, but I looked, and at least the last time I did, let's see, are y'all? Let's move this over here. Are y'all still broadcasting, or they might have been hosting? No, they're hosting us. So I don't know. Normally I would I'd go over and rate them, but they might be on a pause or a break as they're having a marathon. But what I reckon we can do, we never took a break, so hopefully y'all aren't wiggling in your seats too much. But why don't we find someone to give a rate, and we'll pat ourselves on the back and have a good evening from here.
I need to go find something to eat because I'm hungry.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I sincerely wish, because this is something I did. I was doing on my Sunday evening games, my personal heads up games. You know, after we finish a long session, we'd all go out to like a 24/7 diner, like the local Greasy Spoon, and we'd get the chef's skillet, like, you know, just like that late night food, and then and then just talk about that.
Man,
You're making me want to take a walk.
now I want diner food.
You're making me want to take a walk. I'm not even going to take the makeup off. I'm just going to keep this on, just making them wonder what the hell is going on.
It's like D&D day.
Frostbite! It's cold up here. Well, I guess you wouldn't say up here because you're where you're at, but
Yeah.
it's really weird for an Ohioan to say up here. By the way, I'll tell you what.
We just hit minus 15 Celsius today. So.
Jeez.
Oh,
It snowed yesterday here.
Holy butts!
Yeah, we did get snow.
Hey,
I'll
we
tell you what.
we had 70 degrees Fahrenheit, of course, here on Sunday, and then yesterday, we got an inch of snow, and then today it was over 60 degrees again.
Where
That's
are you
a big
at?
flip-flop.
Colorado?
Make a decision. That's all I'm going to say.
Colorado's weird.
Yeah,
Stop teasing,
weather
make a
here
decision.
is strange. Weather in the fall is very odd.
Yeah.
We're gonna go. Oh, hey, Journeyman. Can I give you a new stream to raid? Yeah, sure. Journeyman? Who would you recommend? Speaking of artists in the community, J-Man, who should we raid?
J-Man, I think everybody needs to know this, and because we haven't used the one, for everybody to know, a public service announcement. J-Man fucking sucks.
Yeah, there we go. Here, if you got the emote, you can
That's how
certainly
you
spam
use
it.
We love J-Man.
It's our one.
Yep.
There we go.
Wait, I thought I used our one. That's
You did.
2 now.
No.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Whoop, whoop,
Where?
whoop, whoop.
Whoop whoop! The PG-13 police. We kind of went a little
We're
visceral
done.
today
We're
too.
done.
So
We're done. That's it. Maddie, close down the
yep,
stream.
close it down.
I'll have to after this raid, I guess. All right, raid. Oh, all right. Airy Fingers 883. All right, so we're getting an artist recommended by J-Man himself. Let's go give some RP hype, some artist hype, some energy in this late hour. At least for many of us, it's a late hour. Oh, Fairy Fingers, not Airy. Kind of the same thing. Like Airy is still woo. All right, so Fairy Fingers 883. This
The
will be
only problem
important.
is you have to type it right.
Yeah. /raid. Hey,
But
there we go.
I'm gonna get out.
Yeah.
Coffee, real
Yes.
quick.
Yes.
Did you catch what was posted in my own Discord? Because Black Wolf's reaction is amazing.
I don't quite understand, but okay.
Here.
Oh, I'm gonna take us over to raid. I'll see you
No.
all. I'll see you all later.
I see what's going on there.